I'm John McQuay with 8541 Tactical, and this is Mail Call Mondays, the show that answers your questions about precision rifles, optics, and equipment. Welcome to another Mail Call Mondays, and this Monday it is going to be a relatively short show. Week before last, Sarah and I shot the Guardian Long Range match at Frontline Defense outside of Warrenton, North Carolina. And when we got back here, we sat down and we talked about the match for about an hour and a half. I'm still working through that after action report, getting it edited and mixing in some actual footage and some photos from the match so you guys can see what we experienced out there at the match. Without going too much into what the Guardian match is, I'll just let you know we had a ton of fun. It was a great match. Guardian matches are always a blast for us to shoot. So hopefully I can get that after action report wrapped up and get it out to you quickly. So to assist with that, I'm only going to answer one question this week, and that question comes from BLK LB70. And he asks, "Hey John, longtime watcher and subscriber and value your opinion. Firstly, wanted to say thank you for everything you do on your channel. My question is, I used to shoot long range a lot before it was cool and kind of drifted away about the last 12 years. So with all the incredible rifles out of lately, has inspired me to get back into it and have been trying to decide between the RPR in 6.5 or the new Savage 10 BA Stealth in 6.5. I've researched a ton and both have pros and cons. I definitely like the blueprinted from factory Savage and am not influenced by the more AR-15 ergos of the RPR. I'm liking the idea of a barreled action in a chassis versus whatever you want to call the RPR. I think the RPR is more versatile though. I don't think I will go wrong with either one, and from what I've seen, both are easily sub-MOA with factory ammo. Since I most likely won't be reloading it first for a while because of time constraints, but was wondering your thoughts for a getting back into long-range rifle." Well, you're really right on the idea that both rifles can get you to where you need to go, and there are really just a few back and forth points between those. We've got a lot of questions here lately specifically on the RPR versus the Savage BA Stealth. So it's kind of interesting because both rifles are really pretty closely matched as far as the features on them. Both have the ability for the end user, the guy at home, to swap barrels out on them. Both have somewhat AR-15 type ergonomics, although the BA Stealth really goes with that collapsible buttstock and AR pistol grip, whereas the Ruger Precision Rifle has a much more adjustable buttstock right out of the gate. So it goes a little bit back and forth. Now, the Ruger Precision Rifle generally is about $100 to $200 more expensive than the Savage BA Stealth. When you look at both of the rifles and you step back, really the key thing between the two is going to be, are you going to shoot the rifle the way it is with just possible barrel changes down the road, or are you going to want to take the rifle and at some point totally strip it down and totally rebuild it to be exactly what you want it to be? Now, the Ruger Precision Rifle has the benefit of coming right out of the box, being able to slap an optic on it and go compete, and it really doesn't leave much on the table at all. If you really want to compete at the absolute highest level, then you can swap out the barrel for a premium match barrel, and you can gain a little bit of accuracy, and you're right there. It has a fairly short bolt lift, so you've got that 60-degree bolt throw. The bolt is fairly quick, but in our test version, when we actually reviewed the Ruger Precision Rifle, we found that the bolt wasn't as smooth working. Now, that's probably something that will break in over time. We only had a couple hundred rounds through the RPR while we were testing it, so it may smooth out a little bit over time. Now, when we switch over and we look at the Savage 10 BA Stealth, that rifle is a traditional Savage action and barrel dropped into an MDT chassis, which takes an AR pistol grip, and they used a Command Arms adjustable buttstock on it. Now, the first thing that I really don't like about the Savage 10 BA Stealth is the buttstock that they use on the rifle. Something like a Luth AR would be a much better buttstock for a precision rifle than the sharp toe that comes on that command arm stock. The sharp toe on that stock makes it very difficult to ride a bag well. Now, a lot of times you're shooting from different barricades, different positions, and the toe of the stock really won't be laying on a bag in a prone position. But when you get to a stage where you have to take a long-range precision shot, very often either the barricade will be set up to where you can get a rear bag under and support the toe of the rifle, or you'll be shooting from prone on the ground. And at that point, that stability is absolutely critical. So not having anything that can ride a bag on the buttstock severely limits that rifle, in my opinion. Now, this is easily resolved by just removing that stock and putting on whatever your flavor of AR buttstock. But then when you look at the price difference between the two rifles, that eats up that price difference, and that pushes you back over towards the RPR a little bit more because that stock rides a bag fairly well. And we did find a little bit of personal preference, a little bit of ergonomic issues there because the portion of that buttstock where your hand will rest tends to be a little bit sharp, and it ate into my hand a little bit while I was shooting it. Not anything that would cause a severe difficulty, just something that wasn't to my preference. Whereas the 10BA Stealth, that stock doesn't have that ability at all. The cheek riser on the 10BA Stealth, although it's usable, it's not really a great piece. It's just a plastic saddle type cheek rest that you have thumb screws to raise it up and down. Now, kudos to Savage to put something on there that actually is adjustable. So when you put a larger objective scope on the front end, you can raise that up to actually utilize it. But again, the stock overall, most shooters I think are going to end up ditching that stock and either putting something like a PRS on it or a Luth AR buttstock, something of that nature. If you decide to go with a Luth AR, you can use the same receiver extension that's already on there, just jettison the CAA stock and put the Luth AR stock on there and you'll be good to go. So that is an option, but again, now we're changing things out. Where I think the 10BA Stealth works really well is if you decide you don't want that chassis or that stock configuration at all at a later point, you can pull that out and you can either put it in a Macmillan stock, you can put it in a wide variety of chassis that are out there, KRGs, you can put it in one of the new MDT ESS chassis, things of that nature. So you do have the ability to pull that barreled action out and put it in something else. When we look at the Ruger Precision Rifle, really what you see is what you get. You don't have the ability to easily separate the action from the chassis and move it over to something else. The action was really designed to be integral to the chassis, and there's nothing on the market that I'm aware of right now that will replace that, nor would I really want to if it were my rifle. You can replace the buttstock with any kind of buttstock you want. You can replace the hand grip with any kind of AR type grip. You can replace the forend with a large number of different AR type tubes that are out there. So without changing the actual core section of the RPR, you can change pretty much everything else that your body will contact. They even now have bolt handles and such that you can swap out on the RPR. So you can change a lot of the ergonomics on it without having to change that core piece, which also may end up being less expensive overall. With the 10BA Stealth, if you were of a mind to change out that chassis, I think you would be better off by just buying one of the lower end Savage 10 rifles chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor or whatever your desired caliber is, and not paying the premium for that MDT chassis on that model. So really what it comes down to again is what you want to do. One place that the Savage does kind of have an advantage is on the Savage short actions. You can swap that bolt head out. So if you decide you want to change to something else entirely that doesn't use a 308 bolt face, you have that ability. I don't know that we have the ability on the Ruger Precision Rifle yet. I haven't seen any products out there that allow you to swap that bolt out or swap the bolt head out on that rifle. So those are just kind of the pros and cons of it. In the end, it's really going to come down to what you want to shoot. The Savage 10 is a more mature action. It's been around for a long period of time. There are a lot of products out for it, but the Ruger Precision Rifle has really become the darling of the production class, and there are a ton of them showing up. I think we had 7 of them on the line at the Guardian Long Range match. So they're getting out there. There are a lot of them showing up. My father purchased a Ruger Precision Rifle after seeing the one that we had in for review, and he really loves that rifle. It's actually his first precision rifle, so that's really a great advantage. One last difference between the two that I didn't pick on was the Ruger Precision Rifle utilizes Magpul PMags, so you do have the ability to run a 20-round magazine on the RPR. The Savage 10 BA Stealth utilizes AICS magazine, so you're really capped at a 10-round AICS magazine, and you can put a magazine extension on it so you can get the +4 magazine extensions and things of that nature. So you can increase that magazine capacity, but you're still looking at a much more expensive magazine compared to the Ruger Precision Rifle. Ruger Precision Rifle, you've got a sub $20 magazine that carries 20 rounds. So really, you have a great advantage there. But I'm not all fired in choosing a rifle based solely upon the magazine system. So that's something you have to bear in mind. I've got quite a few AICS magazines laying around. I've got quite a few PMags, LR20s laying around. So it really doesn't matter. Whichever overall system I think is better, I would have magazines to feed it. But dropping $50 to $70 a pop on magazines may be something that you want to think about. So that's just kind of my flow of thought process between the two. As you mentioned in your question, neither one of those is going to be a bad choice. Neither one is going to be wrong. Whichever you choose, you will be able to modify that rifle to your desired end product. You just have a little bit more flexibility with the Savage than you do with the Ruger Precision Rifle, but I'm not entirely satisfied that you need that flexibility if you're starting off with the chassis rifle in that kind of configuration. Well, that's all we have for this Mail Call Mondays. I hope you guys have liked the episode. If you liked it, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you got a question, leave it in the comments section below for possible inclusion on the next Mail Call Mondays. And make sure you check us out on Facebook and Twitter. And until next time, get out and shoot.